Uh, uh, good good afternoon, everyone. Thank you guys for coming out to the Business 101. Can you guys hear me? Good, just double checking. But thank you guys for coming out. We really appreciate you taking your time today. And like Sarah said, I'm gonna kind of go through the slides. Please just take your time. You kind of kick back and watch and listen. I'll send over the slides to you. I'll send over the links to anything we talk about. Even the templates. I have some templates and stuff I think that kind of fits into what we're discussing. So I'll send all that over to you guys. Just sit back and take notes if you like. But like Sarah said, ask questions, put it in the chat box. Hopefully, we'll get through the slide deck fairly quickly, and we can get to the end and have the Q&A. I know the last couple times we've done this, that's really been where a lot of questions came up, and we, kind of really got a lot more out of the webinar or out of the presentation by just learning from the questions from the people that were asking questions. So feel free, just hang back, put your questions in the chat, and we'll definitely try to get to them by the end of the webinar. But let me share my screen here. Oh, it came right on up. Let's skip ahead here. So here again, my name's Kevin Herndon. I'm one of the business advisors here at the Women's Business Center. My background, I've helped hundreds and hundreds of small businesses over the last several years, probably thousands at this point. And my background is in finance. So I worked in the commercial real estate financing side of things at a capital markets firm for about 7, 8 years. I've done wealth management. I've done all kind of different things, all kind of surrounding financing, really. But like the last few years has been more focused on small business financing. And I say I love assisting, helping small business owners. Like Sarah said, we're all just trying to everybody have an idea and they're trying to get it up and going. So it's really good to see see how businesses start from the beginning, kind of start where you guys are, and maybe you guys are just starting your business, or you just thinking about starting your business and like understand seeing where it goes from here and to where it can grow to, right? So that's kind of my background in a nutshell. But let's go ahead and get it started. Um, the director of the Women's Business Center we were discussing, having a discussion, and she was asking me, let's try to put together a webinar or a presentation for all our new entrepreneurs, right? Because we kind of have everybody kind of have similar questions, similar concerns, especially when they first initially start up their business. And this is kind of a composite of everything we thought that new business entrepreneurs could use, right? So that's kind of that's the whole purpose of the webinar, and that's kind of where that was kind of the genesis of everything we kind of came up with. This is just a bunch of different, like I said, I've worked with a bunch of hundreds of different small business owners, brand new business startups, and this is the questions that they usually ask. It's the typical stuff that they're looking for. So we thought we just kind of compile it all into one presentation or webinar and give like the small business owners kind of like a leg up. So even when they get to the one-on-one counseling with someone like me or one of the other advisors here at our center, or even one of the other advisors at the SBDC, excuse me, at the SBDC, you kind of already have kind of have the foundations laid down of what you do, so that you can even kind of even grow even further, just start off even ahead even from before. So that's kind of what the basis of the webinar is around. Okay, so again, these are just the business, five, five, five key phases of your business, right? First, of course, is the business formation, and this is what we're going to be going over in the slide deck, right? It's going to be business formation, business plan, financial projections, making your first sale, and how to scale and grow. All right, so let's just start off with building your foundation, right? Um, starting a business, right? Again, the foundation of your business, right, is like learning to there's certain different things you want to start off on, like kind of give you a foothold on, like whether it be setting up your correct business structure, because it has all kind of different implications, whether it's through tax or liabilities, whether you go a sole prop, LLC, do you do a S corp or whatever. getting those business structures is really, really important, especially in the beginning, right? So once you get it set up, of course, I always tell people, sometimes some people struggle with this phase and trying to understand, can really be an impediment to some people because they think to themselves, okay, well, what do I start? An S corp, a C corp, all because it can be kind of confusing, right? But I always like to tell people that you can always start at a sole prop and go to an LLC, or go from an LLC back to a sole prop, or vice versa. You don't necessarily have to make such a hard concrete decision at this point, but it is important just to get it up and running, right? And I'll go over a little further, kind of a little bit more distinction of each of those different categories. And also another good important thing is like getting like setting up a business bank account. It's really good at this stage to start, setting in motion the proper practices. So as your business grows and as you continue to grow in your business, you already have those best practices set up. So that means having your business business fund separate from your personal funds. So when it comes tax time, it's making it much more easier. It also, if you want to put together financial statements, things like that, it's much easier and cleaner when it's all separate. So starting off in the beginning is an essential. And again, choosing the right business structure, LLC, offers liability protection and pass-through taxation for small and medium-sized businesses seeking flexibility. The sole prop, the simplest form of business, easy setup. Again, it's just you. Then, of course, you have the C Corp and the S Corp, or ideal for larger or high growth businesses. I always think of the LLC as kind of like an umbrella. It just kind of protects your assets from like liability protection, right? So if you were a business and you were to get sued, right? God forbid, but you get sued, and you are a sole prop, you get sued, then the person suing you could actually sue you for your personal assets. But if you're under a limited liability corporation, it limits your liability. So they can only sue the corporation, they couldn't necessarily sue you. Again, I'm not an attorney, right? And we have classes, we have all these different things that kind of can go into more detail. This is kind of more like a broad strokes, but just kind of that in a nutshell, right? So the LLC kind of protects us, like I say, acts as an umbrella against different liabilities. The sole prop, of course, is the easiest one. Very simple to set up, sign up, very easy to do, very clear, easy to do small. Doesn't really matter what size you are. And then of course you have the C Corp and the S Corp. Again, like I said, usually for more larger businesses, maybe you have employees. I know there's a bunch of different pass-through provisions, especially for the S Corp. But it's more a corporation. Like say if you don't want to pay for, there's certain um, um, taxes from it provides you like a certain kind of like how can I best describe it? It's more of a the pass through, like if you don't want to pay the employee taxes, it kind of protects you for some of the employee taxes because it don't go on your main tax. Like I said, I don't want to go too far deep into it because it can kind of get complicated. But just kind of get the broad strokes. You guys get the idea what I'm speaking of. I hope I can go a little further into it later on. And then, of course, legal steps to get started. Registering your business through with the state, of course, is always in good. Getting local business permits and licenses is also very important. The last thing you want to do, of course, is get it up and running, and you realize you need a special type of license for your business and you running that you need, and then it kind of push you back a little bit. So it's always good to check with your local municipality, and they can give you all the specific licenses you need. Of course, there's a bunch of different type of license, whether especially for like food, things like that, or garments, selling, buying. There's a whole bunch of different types of licenses and permits. So it's very good to maybe take a look at their website and go over it with you. Go over it. And then of course there's the EIN, which is the employee identification number, which is I always like to think of as kind of like a kind of the social security number for your business, kind of. It's kind of how the federal government will tax your business, right? Especially if you're like hiring. But it's also good for if you're going to go get a bank account, because we discussed before getting a business bank account, they'll probably require that you have an EIN. So you need your EIN and a business license to open up a bank account. Those are the two things you need to open up a business bank account. And opening a business bank account, separate your personal business. Again, it's good to separate your personal business and your business finances by opening a dedicated business bank account to simplify taxes and bookkeeping. Choose the right tools. Use QuickBooks for accounting, Norton, Notion for project management, and Google Workspace for communications and collaboration. And stay organized, right? Keep records digital, consistent, and secure. The right setup saves times and supports growth, right? Very, very straightforward, right? You definitely want to say in the beginning, again, always about going back to the best practices, right? So separate your business and your personal finances, of course. When it comes to choosing the tools for your like accounting and bookkeeping, I know it says QuickBooks, but I mean, again, a lot of times people, you're just starting off your business. Maybe you're the only employee. Maybe you're going to be just selling, maybe have a clothing business or something like that, or your food business. Square works just as fine. There's other type of POS type of systems, and they have a wide capability of like the type of like information you can pull from them. So like even though it's POS, and even though it's a point of sale, that's what POS stand for, and even though it's through Square and it's not as complicated as QuickBooks, you'll still be able to pull some of the reports. It's a good way to track everything, and it's usually a lesser fee and a little less complicated than QuickBooks, right? But if you have a more of a complicated business and you're gonna be hiring a bunch of different employees and things like that, then a QuickBooks may be best for you. But it's really just up to you, whatever best serves your business, basically. And of course, stay organized. Like I said before, it's always good to establish these, start off with good practices in the beginning, because again, it just will go forward, and it's very good to start in the beginning, starting off very well organized. And here's just a quick checklist, right? Have you completed the basics? Legal structure chosen, whether it be sole prop, LLC, or S corp. And keep in mind too, and I kind of skipped over it too, right? The reason why some people choose to start off as a sole prop and then go to an LLC is because an LLC it costs $800. Whether you make $1,000, you make $2, the state of California, they charge you $800 fee. So it's one of those things that if you're starting off your business, maybe you don't have a lot of money to start with. And again, the whole purpose is it's for you to make money, not to lose money. So if you're starting off your business and you don't have a lot of funds to start your business, maybe starting off a sole prop is a good place to start. And then from there, if you want, you can always transition into an LLC once you get up and running. So again, that's the reason why I kind of skipped over that in the beginning, but I just want to say that. So again, a checklist, so you have your good legal structure, have a good business name registered with the state of California. Have you obtained an EIN? What about your licenses and permits? Right? And are you ready to operate? You have your business bank account, your QuickBooks or your Squares, or there's a bunch of different ones that you can use now. And what about your other operational systems in place? Just a quick checklist. And next, we're going to discuss about business plans, talk about business plans. Sarah, did you want to jump in and go over Dream Builder?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let me
Oh,
see here. Um, Let me go to the right tab. Let me.
I'll stop sharing.
Oh, it's okay. Okay, so actually, I'll just start by talking about yeah, Dream Builder. It's a wonderful business plan tool that we have. Let me turn my camera back on. That we have on our website. It's of no cost, and I have a video explaining everything. But my camera's really finicky, so let's see if it will work again. It's loading. How does it load? Okay. There we go. Hi. And so it's a business plan tool that's going to live online. We call business plans over here living, breathing documents that are going to change and update as your journey unfolds. And so you're just going to log right in and put any updates in that you need to, whatever, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever the case is. And it's a 13 module program that will formulate a business plan for you after you complete the modules. It's not meant to be done in 1 hour each. So it's 13 modules, and the rough estimate to complete it, the whole entire thing, is about 25 to 30 hours. So that's at least 2 hours per module. Obviously, give or take some, but the whole point is that if you rush through everything, when it spits out the business plan, it's going to be a junky business plan. You're going to be spending that time going back and editing, trying to figure out, where the holes in the business plan are. And so if you take the time to do it right the first time around, you won't be going back, dragging your feet, trying to fill in everything that you skipped through. Obviously, we know some sections are not going to be as thorough because maybe you're just getting started. If you're already in business plan, we get this question a lot. If you're already in business, it's not too late to do a business plan. It's never too late to do a business plan. It keeps you on track, keeps you accountable to yourself and your business. It's a great thing to have. We strongly encourage, highly recommend. It's not, I won't say it's not a requirement, but it's very much needed. And, I don't think your business counselors are really going to keep marching along without one. It's very, like I said, it's a very useful tool. Again, it's called Dream Builder. You can use it for free through our website, which I'll put the links in the chat, and I'll also email them to you. I'm going to share my screen and show you a video that goes over like the whole program. So let's see, there's a Q&A. Okay. Kevin, that one is directed towards you.
Okay.
It just popped in, so we can either answer that in a little bit or now, but let me load up the Dream Builder video. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that.
Nader with the Dream Builder team.
Can you
So
see in
what's
here?
Dream Builder? Dream Builder is a free online learning program developed for women entrepreneurs who want to start.
You guys see this PowerPoint or the video?
It is available in both English and
Yes.
Spanish. The program has 13 online courses that cover topics such as planning, marketing, pricing, management, accounting, setting goals, and more. During these 13 courses, you create a personalized business plan, and it's also a great opportunity to develop your network. When you finish the Dream Builder program, you'll receive a certificate from the Thunderbird School of Global Management in the United States, and you'll also have access to useful tools and templates in the online platform that you can personalize for your business. Dream Builder is also a wonderful opportunity to learn about different types of capital and how to secure them for your business. Dream Builder was created by the Freeport-McMoran Foundation in collaboration with the Thunderbird School of Global Management. So who can do the Dream Builder program? The program is created for women entrepreneurs. There's no age limit to do the program, but it's very important to have the right attitude and entrepreneurial spirit. The program is suitable for all sectors and will work if you'd like to sell a product or a service. The program also works for those who want to start a business from scratch or those who'd like to grow their own business. It is important to know how to read, write, and have basic computer skills to be able to navigate the Dream Builder platform. During the 13 courses, you'll learn about topics such as market research, finances, and administration, all while writing your own business plan. Additionally, there's a course called Financing Your Dream, which is a training for how to obtain capital for your business. The Dream Builder program features a unique methodology. Each course is guided by Alma, a fictional character who owns her own business. She shares her experiences and knowledge while teaching you along the way. The courses also include real-life testimonials from successful entrepreneurs, quizzes, and interactive games to reinforce what you're learning in the courses. Dream Builder also includes an animated series. In English, it features Sarah, an aspiring entrepreneur in the United States, and the Spanish version has a telenovela, or soap opera, which features 4 female protagonists. Each episode is designed to reinforce the instruction that you received during the 13 courses. Once you have your Dream Builder account, this is what you'll see in the home screen. There are pre- and post-program surveys that you should complete, as well as the 12 or 13 courses. These are lockstep sequenced courses, meaning that in order to do course 2, you should finish course 1 first. In each course, a list of topics to be covered in that course is displayed. The course that's available is in blue. If the topic is faded, this means that the topic is still locked, but should be unblocked later as soon as you finish topic 1. Each course and topic can be interrupted, saved, and continued later. A course tends to take between 1.5 hours and 2 hours. Because each course can be saved and continued later, Dreambuilder offers a flexible schedule so that you can advance in the moments that you have available to work on the program. Each course ends with a quiz. It's necessary to get at least 50% of the questions right on the quiz. If you want to repeat the quiz, you have to repeat the whole course in order to improve your score. In some cases, there may be more than one correct answer to the question. It's also important to note that the most recent score is always saved, not automatically the highest. It's also good to know that the certificate will not show the percentage achieved on the quiz, but it's rather a certificate of completion of the program. The business plan generator can be found in the left-hand side of the homepage. All the answers that you write during the 12 courses will then be saved to the business plan, and when you're finished, you can generate your business plan in a Word document, and it will all be formatted with a table of contents. This section of the platform will also allow you to modify any of your past answers to the questions, and that way you can keep modifying your business plan. The platform also has helpful tools and templates that are organized into 4 sections: management and operations, marketing and sales, finance and accounting, and guides and examples and resources. All of these resources are available in Word, Excel, or PDF so that you can print them off and use them for your business. An especially useful tool is Alma's business plan and also the workbook, which contains information from each of the courses. When you finish the Dreambuilder program, congratulations, you finished your business plan, and you'll also have a certificate with your name and the logos of Thunderbird and Freeport Maghorn. It's a digital program certificate that can be automatically downloaded from the program in the button that says View Certificate. When you've finished all the Dreambuilder program, you could try out our additional course, Financing Your Dream, which will help you determine the need and sources of funding. It'll also help you learn about different types of financing and capital, what the lending process is like, how to create a capital action plan, and this additional course also comes with its own resources and templates and a certificate. Thank you and good luck with your business plan. Hello, welcome. I'm Maylee Johnson, a program coordinator.
Okay. So hopefully that gave you a better idea and overview of what Dreambuilder is. If you have any questions about it, please let us know. If you use the link through our website, we are able to track your progress, or if you get stuck anywhere, we can log in. If you just Google Dreambuilder and then use their free link, we have no way to access anything on the back end for you. So we can't track your progress. We can't look into maybe a module you're stuck on, things like that. But if you use our link, it'll have our logo, and we partnered with them to have this available for entrepreneurs. Then like I said, we'll be able to log in on our end and see, if you got stuck somewhere, or if you have any questions. But yeah, that's a wonderful tool that our business counselors often suggest to clients to use. Of course, there are shorter versions. It doesn't hurt to have a shorter version of your business plan as well. This one is obviously very thorough, very lengthy, but this is also a great idea to get everything from your head out onto digital, and just have somewhere to reference back to it, right? You have all those modules. You can't advance to one module until you finish the other one. And so, like I said, the business plan is beneficial to you for many reasons, but also it's a way to keep you accountable, right? Like, what are your goals in a few years, in 6 months? And so it's a way to keep track instead of just trying to keep it all in your head. And so I don't see any questions popping up. Hopefully that video helped. Oh, I did want to make one comment. I know on there it says it was created for women, which it was, but that doesn't mean you can't use it if you're not a woman. Anyone can use it. Again, doesn't matter how your business is owned. It doesn't matter how you identify. Anyone can use Dreambuilder. It was definitely created or founded for women and other underserved populations, but there's no rules on that. You cannot use it if you don't identify as a woman or anything like that. So that is Dream Builder. I will put the link in the chat in just a second as soon as I give the floor back to Kevin. And if you have any questions, let us know. It is separate from your Neosera account, which is what you created and have to sign up for this workshop. You can use the same email and password if you want to keep it easy for you, but they're two completely separate websites, programs, and everything like that. I know sometimes there's some confusion there. People might think they can find Dream Builder in their Neosera portal, which is not the case. We're not that fancy yet, maybe one day. But yeah, you can definitely keep it easy for you if you want use the same email and password, but they are two completely different logins, separate everything. But yeah, that's Dream Builder. And if you have any questions, please let us know. And I'll give the floor back to you, Kevin.
Yeah, and also too, just keep in mind, she'll put in the chat, but also we'll send the link over to you guys. We'll send the link back over to you guys as well with the slides as well. So it'll also be included in there as well. I have a quick question. I was going to answer it, but I'll just kind of read it out really quickly before we get back. I'm providing a counseling consulting service as a sole proprietor. I've been able to operate without getting an EIN, but was recently asked for a business license. Based on my research, business licenses are mainly provided at the local level versus state level if I'm not selling goods. Do you recommend getting a business license? And if so, is there a statewide business license? Is that the same as being registered with the state as a business? Well, you definitely, you're right. There is no statewide business license. They're all local. They're all local municipalities. And it's basically for tax purposes. So I do definitely recommend it because in some places, well, not some places, it's actually illegal to operate a business without a business license. So you definitely want to get a business license. And also the EIN, like I said, it's really important. It's really mainly for tax purposes. It's really, when it really boils down to it, is how the state and the city is going to get their taxes, right? That's basically what this is all about. So at the end of the year, when you do your taxes, they're going to ask you, where you're getting generating your income from, and then that's where you want to need that. You're going to have some sort of license or something to show that you have been in business legally, and this is lawfully, and this is where the money is coming from. And like I said before, it's also essential if you want to get a business bank account. So if you're making some money and you're doing some money, even maybe small amount or not, just keeping it separate is also a good thing. So you definitely EIN and the business license. That's a great question. Let's go ahead and get back to the slides. And like I say, I know the time is running on this, so let's get back to the slides. Let's kind of skip one. And planning for success or creating a business plan, like Sarah said, I mean, she couldn't have said it better. Dream Builder is a great, excellent resource that they provide for you guys. It's very thorough. It's very comprehensive. So it's a really, really good program to start with. So it gives you a good solid base. But this is just going to kind of give you kind of overall view of just writing a business plan in general, right? Because a lot of businesses, like I said, I do a lot of business, and some of them have been in business for years and they don't have a business plan. But again, a business plan is very important for like the roadmap of your business, right? Setting it out for you. So again, it give you a good roadmap for growth, kind of set the tone, where do you want to grow? So it has a lot of good information about your business. I always like to say a business plan kind of helps you flush out all the different ideas for your business, where you want to be in 5 years, who are you marketing to? And we'll go into all of that here as we go forward. I always like to start off with the SWOT analysis. Again, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And every business has certain strengths. Maybe you're a brand new business. Maybe you have a unique business opportunity. Maybe there's not a lot of competition in your area. That may be one of your strengths, right? Excuse me. And then, of course, there's the weaknesses, like which you may have limited budgeting, you're brand new, you may not have a lot of experience in the business. Those are maybe some of your weaknesses. And again, these are all, I actually have a SWOT analysis, like a form, again, that I'll send over to you guys with the slides. And you just kind of put your business in there and just kind of see where your strengths and your weaknesses are. It's really good, especially when you're getting ready to do a business plan, just to know where you stand, and kind of like focus your business, focus where you are. So again, we have strengths, weaknesses, your opportunities. Maybe you have expanded online sales channel. Maybe you have a unique opportunity to sell a particular business. Maybe you have a particular skill set that's in high demand for whatever reason. Those may be your good opportunities. And of course, every business has threats, right? No matter if you're small business or large business, right? Even the Walmart has certain threats, and even Amazon, whether it's tariffs overseas, every business has threats. So it's really good to get a good understanding of where you stand with your business. The last thing you want to do is like start something and it's going to be unprofitable or it has very low growth market. And so the business plan kind of helps you focus all those ideas and then kind of narrow focus where you want to be. Of course, you always want to start off with your mission statement, have a good define, what's the purpose of your business? What's your vision? Like, where do you see yourself going? What is your business about? What are the future? What future are you working to build for your company and your customers? Always be clear and inspiring, be very clear. I have because I know that there's a dream builders. We have a dream builder, which again is very, very important. But me, sometimes I work with some of my clients. I have like templates for your business plan, and you kind of fill out the template, and it kind of it's smaller, a little bit more comprehensive than Dream Builder, but it just kind of like helps you focus all these different topics and ideas because it's like a fill in the blank type of deal. And again, I'll send it out to you when we send the slides out to you as well. And again, another good important part of writing a business plan, and why I recommend every business writes a business plan, is because you really want to identify your target market. I hear sometimes some people, they have a business and they think they have an idea who their target market is, or they say everyone's in my market. But if everyone is in your market, you really don't have a market. You really want to be as detailed as you possibly can be. The more granular, the better. So if it's something where if you're selling, like I like the buyer persona, where you learn and figure out who exactly is your target market. Who are they? Where are they located? I can tell some of my clients, let's find out where, what they do, where are they at? How can we get in front of them? What are their needs, right? How can we help place our product as the top of mind when they come and looking for the need that they're looking for, whether it's like I say, I know you had a consultant, if that's your business, right? Your target market or whoever you're consulting to, but like maybe there's a bunch of different consultants, so why would they select you? So again, those are the things you do and you figure out in your business plan, and we focus on that, right? So who is your target market? Very, very important. And then of course, what are you offering? What's your unique value proposition to your clients or to your customers? What separates you from, like I say, other businesses out there? And again, I know we're kind of going broad strokes here. And again, that's why it's very good, kind of get the basics down here for you to get to thinking about it. But once you get to an advisor, maybe a one-on-one advisor, we'll go through this together. Kind of understanding what your value proposition is specifically for your business and how we can help you focus that to where it's right in front of your clients that you're looking for, right? So again, what products or services you have, what are you offering, how are you providing value to the client? That's always important. Always put your client or customer first. And what makes you stand out? What's your unique proposition? Is it pricing, design, your speed, your focus? There's a bunch of different things, but it's very important when you're writing a business plan. And then, of course, very important, people kind of overlook this as well, your operations. Who is your team and your people? Are you your staff, your advisors? I know we kind of went over kind of briefly about the corporations versus S Corp versus C Corp in your structure. But if you have a board of directors, right, you may have on your board of directors somebody who can help your business out. So maybe if maybe you are I'm trying to give an example. Maybe you're a restaurateur, or you open up a restaurant, and maybe you have a board of directors for whatever reason for your restaurant, and maybe some of them are suppliers, so they can help you assist you with your business, right? And it's it's not free, but they're part of your business overall. So again, who are your people? Who are you inviting along the ride, right? Who are your processes and tools? Who are your vendors? Understanding who are really the vendors are really important. Different services that you use, all that goes onto a business plan, right? Because we want to focus it and understand it. So again, if someone picks up your business plan, they have an understanding of what your business is about, who you're targeting to make money to, who you're selling to, how are you going to sell it to them, and what's your unique value proposition, and also your how much money you plan on making. All that should be kind of encapsulated in a business plan, right? So yeah, know your numbers, right? So it's very, very important. Again, I know we're starting, a lot of you guys maybe just starting out your business, right? But it's very important at this phase to understand the numbers, right? And that's kind of like I was explaining to the person who put the question in there. It's really good to separate stuff in the beginning, because that's how you plan ahead. If you know where you are, especially when it comes to inventory, knowing and understanding how much money's coming in versus coming out, no understanding your cash flow, how much money you're making versus how much money you're spending. All those come down to really understanding the numbers. And when I say the numbers, that's the understanding, how much money is coming in, how much money you're spending out, how much money you're putting out. We have different, there's cash flow projections models that I have. Again, I've been using for years. And again, I'll keep saying this, I'll send it along with the slides. And it's an Excel spreadsheet, but it's really good for explaining where your money is going. So you can put in the amount and it'll give you to show you how much money you're projecting out for the next couple of years, next 6 months, how much money you're spending on this, for whether it be office supplies or rent, how much you're paying for your lease, your car, whatever. It has all of the breakdown, so you have a better understanding of how much all the money is, how much is coming in versus going out. So again, it's just really good to keep up with those numbers in the beginning. And here's your startup costs. Again, this is really important, right? Especially when you're in the beginning stage, where you say, Kevin, we haven't spent any money yet. We're still just thinking about it. Understanding how much it would take for you to get your business up and running is very important. So again, maybe putting together a budget, looking at an inventory, how much, and again, kind of really these are the key, right? How much is the EINs are free. It doesn't cost you anything. You go to a website. Again, I'll have a link on the slides when we send them out. So to the EIN, you can get it. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Then you have to pay for the business license. Depending on the type of business you're in, you might want to get some business insurance so you don't have any illegal issues, or have some business insurance. Then it's going to go to the inventory, maybe a website, how much will charge cost for marketing. All those things are all expenses that all brand new businesses start up with. So just keep in mind when you're thinking about starting up your business, how much money are you going to be putting in? Of course, there's every business it's going to require that you put some money into it. So just keep that in mind as you go along. And here's the revenue forecasting. Set realistic expectations. Again, like I say, I'll send over the Excel spreadsheet, which has the cash flow on it as well. So set realistic expectations, how much you plan on selling over the next 12 months. I'll always tell people, go to your competitors' websites, take a look and see what they're doing. I know people sometimes they think they have an understanding of who their competitor is, but go check them out and see how much they're making, see what they're doing if you can. Some businesses are harder to look into, some of them aren't. But usually if you look online or you look through Google them, or Google, kind of get an idea of how much it might cost, is also something good to keep in mind when you forecast it. That way you have a realistic expectation of how much you're going to be able to make over the next 12 months. And then that way you can price it out accordingly and plan accordingly, right? And also keep in mind too about shifting seasons. That's very important too. I have a lot of clients. I have some clients right now who's going out to the state fair, and they make almost 2/3 of their business over the year just in 30 days at the fair, at the couple fairs that they're going to go into. So again, just keep in mind about seasonal shifts as well in markets and cycles. Of course, always watching out for expenses and overhead. This is also a big portion of understanding your business, right? So whether it's understanding the recurring costs, whether it's rent and understanding the salaries, subscriptions, and then it's always keep in mind too the fixed cost versus variable costs. Of course, the fixed costs are things like rents, things that doesn't change, Sometimes it's bills, right? You always gonna have to pay electricity no matter where you are, or parking, things like that. And then there's the variable expenses, which may be things along the lines of gas or something may change. We still have to pay gas, but it may fluctuate over time, right? The cost may go down. Some supplies may go down. Sometimes you may have to get a license. Sometimes they may go up or down. But again, those are more just the variable costs versus the fixed costs, right? And I always tell people also always plan for the unexpected, especially in a brand new business. Most businesses, um, you know, just assume you're going to run into some problems, right? Just assume it. So give yourself a cushion as well. Of course, break even. And this kind of goes back to the numbers. If you know how much you have coming in versus going out, then you're much more likely to understand, how much you're going to be breaking even. That's why it's good to track from the beginning, all the expenses, how much you're paying out, how much you're paying out, how much is coming in. Just track all that. That way you can have a really good break even point. There's a bunch of different formulas. There's all kind of different charts online, how to find your break even point. Especially if you're like retail stores, clothing, you're selling candles, things like that. It's kind of hard. Sometimes it can get lost because you buy in bulk, you have inventories, you're turning over stuff and seasonal stuff like things like that. So finding the break-even point can be hard. But there's ways of going about doing it. Like I say, there's tons of stuff, calculators online, charts and things you can add your stuff in there. But it really boils down to knowing how much you're spending, how much is coming in versus how much is going out, right? Always set a good profit goal as well. Back to the numbers, like I say, those projections, that's where they really come into play, the cash flow projections. And then of course track monthly progress as you go along, right? So that's pretty self-explanatory. You always want to just monitor as you go. And that's how you're going to be able to see how much you're making, find that break-even point, is find your profitability point, right? All right. Well, first time to make your first sale. I think this is, I always tell, I don't know if this is on here or not, but I always like tell clients some time to have, and again, this is kind of more like a generic, it's very generic, right? So different businesses may have different ways of launching your business, right? If you're retail business, you're selling clothes, or you're online, it may be a little different on how you launch your business. But there's nothing wrong with having like a soft launch, right? Starting off your business, just to your friends and family, maybe like have a little push campaign for everybody that's your people that that supports you, that would be happy to support you, especially in the beginning, right? Because that can give you a good, nice little boost, a little inflow of capital, of cash, and also it can also show you what people are looking to buy, right? Sometimes I always say like the best entrepreneurs are the ones that's flexible. The more flexible you are, the better off you can be, right? So if maybe you think this is going to be the best number one seller, but when you get to going, maybe that's not the best seller, right? So starting a soft launch is really good for those types of things like that. But that's kind of, again, that's just been my experience with like launching your first business, right? Starting off your first sales, right? And of course, always expect the unexpected, right? Embrace imperfection is also important. And of course, again, just building confidence, not giving up on yourself. I mean, in the beginning, you may not start off right. Most businesses, especially in the beginning, they're always losing money. And so, it's always can be an uphill battle, right? Being an entrepreneur is not an easy thing, right? But it's definitely well worth it if you're able to get it up and running. So just never always be resilient in that fashion. And here's the soft launches. Quietly roll up to friends and family. Start with small. I thought I took the slide out here. Start with a small group to gather feedback and going wide. Get your MVP and pre-sales. Test your offer with minimal version or offer early access to validate demand. Kind of what I was speaking of. Stay lean. Don't overbuild. Right. I always say, please, just start off, let every business should be looking to grow organically. So, let demand push growth. Don't try to overstep the growth itself. Because the last thing you want to do is start off as a startup as a small business, and maybe you're in debt or you're behind, and then it becomes much more harder. But if you grow as you go is always the best way to go. So I like that, starting lean, starting off slow, just good enough to where you can really see the demand and your business can grow and flourish. Marketing for first customers, use free channels like social media. One thing Sarah was speaking about is our sister organization, the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center. Well, they have what's the NorCal SBDC, and they're over all the different SBDC centers in Northern California. And I think I don't know how many it is, but it's quite a few. But they put on webinars and seminars every day. They're putting on something, whether it's for marketing, for QuickBooks. It's endless the amount of stuff that they have on there. And it's all free. It doesn't cost you anything. I was looking at one last night for about how to make money off of Instagram. This is all regarding your selling your business, right? How to sell on Instagram. They have Facebook. They have all these SEO stuff like that, and it's all free. And it's just another option for you guys. So take full advantage of that stuff because it's all webinars. Like I say, they're all around Northern California, but they're all webinars like this right here. So again, just take advantage of it, and they'll help you with this stuff. Leveraging social media, referrals, and online communities, right? I like starting local is also another good thing. Word of mouth, that's also a good way to start. And then building relationships, right? Finding centers of influence in your community that will help push for your business, right? And then listen to feedback and involve them in your growth. Track and learn. Review what worked. And this is after you launch your business. Analyze your launch. Which channels drove traffic? What messages resonated? And fix what didn't, right? So this kind of pretty straightforward, right? You identify your weak spots, change and adapt, and then you just kind of figure out what's working. And I kind of going back to what I was saying before, it can be kind of difficult starting a business, but you just kind of got to learn from it. The ones that I see that are really successful and are, kind of overcome the beginning phases are the ones that are resilient, the ones that are flexible, the ones that learn from their mistakes and aren't willing to pivot and do something not completely different, but do something different in their business, and aren't really married to any one product or idea. They're really flexible in their thinking. So this kind of goes back to that. So just if you see something that's weak or that's not working, just change and adapt your strategy. All right, celebrate and scale. Celebrate your milestones. This is very important. Sarah was talking about, we're all just human beings. We're trying to usually, most people are working to take care of our family, there's all kind of different reasons why we even decided to become entrepreneurs. So celebrate yourself, take the time to yourself, and selling first sales, it can be a huge achievement. I talk to so many people. Like I think about it sometime. Like of all the people I've talked to, I say there's only really about 40% of the people that really take the next step. Like I talk to them, we go through a business plan, we do all this stuff, and for some reason or another, let other stuff get in their way. But the ones that don't, it's very important that you celebrate your milestones, because it's a hard thing to do sometimes. It's brand new, depending on what your business is, it can be kind of daunting, but celebrate yourself, right? And then again, reinforce what works, double down on what brought you to success, and then just plan for growth. It's always better to plan for growth when it's not a crunch time, right? So plan for growth in the good times, not just when the bad times come. And I think that's it. So we're going to open up please take off your mic if you want to. You have any questions? We still have a little bit of time left here. You guys have any questions?
Hi, Becky. I see your hands raised, so I allowed you to talk. So if you wanted to go ahead and unmute yourself, you should be able to now.